Hello to my entire YouTube following. Today I'm making David read some dirty fanfiction, because I have nothing else to do, because I'm on winter break for school and I have no other inspiration for edits right now. I found this fanfiction on Archive of Our Own like 2 weeks ago, and read it for myself, and thought it was really good. I will leave a link to it in the description, because if you want to read it seriously, you can. The fanfiction I will be reading today is called Rubies, and it is a yoonseok fanfiction, so prepare yourselves, wink wink. It is also extremely nsfw, so either have headphones in or just be alone while watching this. Anyways, let's read that sexy steamy fanfic. Yoonseok is walking through the cold halls of the palace. The mild fall weather is slowly changing into actual winter, and the large hallways of the castle that are void of fireplaces are so cold he can see his breath. He's only wearing his satin nightgown, jewelry and his fox fur slippers, the best skin under his satin gown no doubt covered in goose flesh. He has a candle in one hand and a special gift in the other. The moonlight is illuminating the dark hallways, and the light of the candle he's holding shows a golden glow on the stone walls. He passes the different doors of all the rooms in the palace, the library, the study and one of the royal bathrooms. He finally arrives in the large den. The warmth immediately spreads through his entire body, and he can hear the crackling of the wood in the fireplace and the smell of burning pine trees. In the middle of the room, Yoongi is waiting for him. He's holding a beautifully carved wine decanter and he's standing next to the large couch, waiting for Yoonseok to come and sit down. Yoonseok has asked him to be here, of course. He's asked for his personal servant to meet him in the den. Yoongi does this almost every night, serving the young the expensive wine, gifted by the people of the mountains. Listening to Yoonseok talk and whine about the horrible decisions his father is making in regard to the high mountains. He listens to him until the boy is drunk and Yoongi needs to call Seok Jin and Taehyung, the two other servants, to help bring the young, drunken prince to bed. But tonight, Yoonseok has other plans. He doesn't want to talk about his father's, the king's serious lack of judgment. He doesn't want to whine about how he didn't like the jewelry the prince of the Love Valley gifted him because emeralds were so outdated, and he loves rubies much more now. He loves the color red against his skin ever since Yoongi had once complimented the prince on how beautiful he looked in his red coat. Yoonseok wanted to only wear red ever since. He wants his servant's eyes on him constantly, and he knows it works. Every time he's wearing his ruby ring, he can see Yoongi's focus on his hands. When Yoongi puts the deep red coat on him, he can feel the lingering touch of his hands on the shoulder pads. And when the young prince gets back from hunting, he notices Yoongi inhale the metallic scent of the dark blood on his hands as he helps the prince bathe. Anyhow, Yoonseok has no problem to admit that he's infatuated with the servant. His father had noticed, and so had his mother and sister. He's nothing but a slave, son. You have princes and princesses who would throw themselves at your feet. He can still hear the king's words, but Yoonseok didn't want princes or princesses, nor did he want counts or countesses. He wants the beautiful servant that is standing next to the couch, looking at him with confusion. He's had Yoongi under him before, of course. He's kissed his pearly white skin under the moonlight in the darkness of his room. He's nipped and licked at every inch of the skin, tasted the older boy's sweat and other bodily fluids. He's felt the boy's fingers roam on his own skin, and he's felt him clench around his length as he's thrusting into him. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, Yoonseok is reluctant to let Yoongi leave his chambers because he knows that once the boy leaves, he'll be too ashamed to enter them again for at least a week. He's always ashamed when he gives in to his prince. The moment he comes down from his orgasm and the harsh sounds of their breaths are echoing through the large chamber, his cheeks will flush and he'll start stammering unintelligible words. He'll say that he still needs to help Seok Jin clean the kitchens, or that he has to help Taehyung with the laundry. He'll try every excuse until Yoonseok lets him leave, and when he can, he hastily pulls on his clothes and makes a run for it. Yoonseok thinks it's quite adorable. He knows that the servant is infatuated with him too. He knows the feeling is definitely mutual, but he also knows that Yoongi had gotten a warning from the king in regard to seeing his son. Yoongi is terrified of going against the king's words. Yoongi, the servant, looks up at him and gives him a low bow. He lifts the decanter in a questioning move and silently asks Yoonseok if he wants him to fill up his glass. Would the prince like a glass of wine? You can put the wine down. I'm not interested in alcohol and small talk tonight. Yoongi looks confused, but does as told. He moves to the large table, being the couch, and puts the decanter down on the tray next to the crystal glasses. Yoonseok sits down on the couch and his robe is falling open, showing his bare skin and the diamond jewelry that's covering his entire torso. Several rubies are glowing between the hundreds of diamonds and crystals, thanks to the light of the fire. When Yoongi arrives back next to the couch, his eyes widen in surprise, and he looks guilty for looking at Yoonseok's bare skin. Does the prince need anything tonight? In fact I do, Yoongi. Please sit down. Yoongi listens to the prince's orders and sits down as far away from him as the couch allows him. His eyes are focusing on anything that isn't Hoseok. I've brought a gift for you, Yoongi. A gift? I couldn't accept a gift from you, my prince. If you don't accept it as a gift, I'll order you to wear it. Hoseok says teasingly. This gets Yoongi's attention and has the boy staring at him, making eye contact. His pupils are wide in the dimly lit room. The orange light of the fire is illuminating on his pale arms and face. Take off your blouse, Hoseok says softly, and Yoongi's head snaps up, but he doesn't dare to go against his prince's words. He fidgets with the buttons of his shirt and lets the article of clothing slip onto the floor. He's sitting up straight, chest forward. His small dark nipples are stiff and Hoseok wants to suck on them. He's always had an oral fixation and he can't hold back when he's with Yoongi. He takes a hold of the box that he brought, holding the gift for Yoongi. When he hands him the blue, velvet box, Yoongi's hands are shaking as he accepts it. He's staring at it without making a move to open it, almost petrified. Open it. Hoseok whispers, shuffling closer to Yoongi. His hand finds Yoongi's jaw, and he caresses the older boy's cheek with his thumb. Yoongi gives in to the touch and leans against Hoseok's hand, but when he catches himself, he moves away and looks at the box. When he opens it, Yoongi lets out a soft gasp. Inside the box, there's a black velvet choker with a golden tag. There's an inscription on the tag. Written in calligraphy, Yoongi is able to read the word mine, and his thumb moves over the inscription. On the choker itself, there are several rubies glimmering. They look exactly like the ones Hoseok is wearing. My PR prince, I can't. This is too much. Yoongi is stammering the words, and Hoseok drops the hand from his jaw. You don't like my gift? Yoongi's eyes widen, and he takes a hold of Hoseok's wrist. My prince, of course I like it. Hoseok feels something warm in his chest, but keeps giving Yoongi the intimidating gaze, knowing the effect it would have. It is a very big gift, my prince. I'm worried your father might not approve. My father doesn't need to know of this. I want you to wear this when you're with me, when it's just the two of us. Hoseok takes the choker out of the box and shuffles even closer to Yoongi. He helps closing the choker, and when he sits back, he enjoys the sight in front of him. The black choker looks beautiful against the pale skin and the jet black hair at the base of Yoongi's neck. He asks the servant to take off his other clothes and Yoongi does as he's asked. Soon, he's standing in front of Hoseok, naked as the day he was born except for the choker on his neck. Hoseok's hands find their place on Yoongi's hips, and he pulls him closer until he's nosing at Yoongi's thigh, inhaling the familiar, woody scent he's grown to associate with the servant. He's placing soft kisses against the taut skin of Yoongi's thighs, and he can see Yoongi's interest peaking as his cock is starting to harden. Hoseok smiles up at him when he takes hold of the base of Yoongi's cock. You're so beautiful, Yoongi, you know that? Yoongi just whimpers as Hoseok gives kitten licks to the head of his cock. So beautiful and all mine. He takes Yoongi's length fully into his mouth and starts sucking with great fervor. He loves this. He loves tasting Yoongi's cum as Hoseok sucks particularly hard. He loves the sound Yoongi makes as Hoseok's tongue traces the veins on his cock, and the harsh grip of Yoongi's hand in his hair when Hoseok's edging him. But what he loves most are the soft whimpers and cries Yoongi emits when Hoseok swallows around him, throat constricting tightly around his girth. My PR prince, I'm close. Hoseok pulls off and gives him a stern look. What have I told you before, Yoongi? Yoongi is whining at the sudden loss of Hoseok's lips and tongue. He's so very close to his orgasm and obviously frustrated. Hoseok's grip at the base of Yoongi's cock tightens, and he asks the question again. What have I told you before? And not to call you prince when we are an intimate. Hoseok, please, I'm so close. What do you want, Yoongi? Tell me what you want. He gives another playful lick at Yoongi's cock. I want you, Hoseok. I want. Yoongi suddenly hesitates to continue, and Hoseok knows exactly why. He knows what Yoongi wants, and Hoseok wants it too. He wants it so bad. He didn't wear this beautiful body jewelry for just any reason. What, Yoongi? Tell me. You are mine and I'm yours. You can ask for anything. He loosens his grip on Yoongi's cock and leaves small kisses on his thigh again, sucking hard but not hard enough to leave bruises. I want to be inside of you, my prin Hoseok. Yoongi's hand that held place in Hoseok's dark locks is now leaning against his jaw and Hoseok leans into it. He stands up, dropping the satin nightgown at the same time, and Yoongi's eyes grow darker. He's not as shy as he was 10 minutes before, drinking in every inch of Hoseok's body that's decorated in diamonds, rubies and golden chains. Have you come prepared? Yoongi asks vaguely, but Hoseok knows what he means. Hoseok walks to the dark, wooden liquor cabinet. All the different kinds of alcohol are in big decorative glass bottles, and in the very back, Hoseok had hidden the small vial. It is almost invisible through all the bottles. When he brings it back to the sitting area, Yoongi huffs out a small laugh under his breath. "Of course you would," he says lightly, and Hoseok smiles. "Of course I would. What? It's very you to hide vials of lube randomly around the palace, Hoseok," Yoongi says teasingly. Hoseok smiles. The longer Yoongi finds himself in Hoseok's company, the more comfortable he feels. He's finally letting his guards down, the moment Hoseok has been waiting for since he entered the den tonight. Yoongi pulls at the thin golden chains on Hoseok's torso to pull him closer, and Hoseok complies happily. He lets Yoongi guide them to big rug in front of the fireplace. The rug had been made with the fur of the family of wolves they'd hunted down just last winter. It's incredibly soft and the warm fur feels nice against his bare skin as Hoseok is being pushed back against it. When Hoseok is lying down fully, Yoongi climbs over him and straddles his hips. He leans down to kiss him passionately. Hoseok realizes it's the first kiss they are sharing tonight. Yoongi's tongue tastes like maple syrup, and Hoseok can't hold back the smile. He knows that the boy has a weakness for anything sweet, and he's probably indulged in some sweetness before coming to the den to serve his prince. The servant's tongue is exploring his lips and sliding alongside his own. It's too wet, and there's saliva dripping on Hoseok's cheek. Yoongi quickly notices and licks at it, kissing further down to Hoseok's neck to suck and bite. This is the prince's weakness and Yoongi knows it very well. Hoseok is already hard, but the moment Yoongi's teeth bite down on the skin above his arteries, and he starts to suck, Hoseok can feel himself leaking. Yoongi's hands are moving along the chains that are running along Hoseok's chest and stomach. He kisses every diamond that's hanging alongside of them, and makes eye contact with Hoseok the second his lips find the leaking cock that's lying against his stomach. There's cum running on one of the rubies and Yoongi wraps his lips around it to clean them. It's truly a sight to see the beautiful servant wrap his pink lips around the gemstones. Though his pink lips look even prettier when they wrap around Hoseok's leaking cock. Yoongi groans slowly, and it sends vibrations through Hoseok's entire body, making him moan before he even realizes it. This is one of Yoongi's specialities. The servant could spend an entire day between Hoseok's thighs, and he wouldn't complain about the pain in his jaw or how numb his lips feel. He's so good at it too, sucking at the head and teasingly scraping his teeth along the skin as he goes down. Hoseok is almost falling apart by Yoongi's lips and tongue alone. His entire length is being swallowed, and he feels the servant's throat tighten around his cock as he swallows. Hoseok's entire body convulses, and he can't help but thrust into Yoongi's mouth. But the boy takes it so well, just like he always does. There are tears in his eyes, and rolling down his cheeks, and Hoseok thumbs at one of them. "God, Yoongi, you're so gorgeous when you cry, ahh." He's distracted by the tongue that's licking into the slit of his cock, and he can see the thick ropes of precum on Yoongi's tongue. "Fucking beautiful with my cock in your mouth." Yoongi smirks and finally sits on his heels, taking the vial that Hoseok had hidden in the liquor cabinet. He lathers his fingers in the thick, oily substance of the lube, and Hoseok's legs drop open just at the sight of his fingers. He would almost feel ashamed by how needy he looked, but he isn't ashamed. He wants to feel the older boy so much. He's been waiting for so long. Ever since picking up the choker that's now on the boy's neck, made for him specifically, the only one of its kind in the world. "Have you already prepped yourself, Hoseok? I was eager while bathing earlier today. I wanted you so much," Hoseok says with a big grin. Yoongi blushes for just a second, but quickly after, two of his fingers are sliding into Hoseok with comfortable ease, and Hoseok lets out a long, breathy moan. His lover didn't spend a lot of time on prepping him, seeing he'd given him a head start. Soon enough, Hoseok's legs were being lifted and wrapped around the servant's waist, and he could feel the blunt head of his cock lining up against his entrance. The first slide inside feels as if Hoseok can finally breathe again in a long while. He's been looking forward to this for so long. "Ah, Yoongi, fuck, so big." His voice is almost high-pitched. He's feeling so good. They've only done this once before, with Yoongi giving instead of receiving. Yoongi had never dared to ask Hoseok if he could do it again after they had done it. Hoseok thought that maybe he didn't like it as much as receiving, but today he's happy to learn he had been wrong. Even though he's thoroughly prepped, he still holds on to Yoongi's arms tightly as he slides all the way inside. Yoongi gets the hint and lets Hoseok adjust to his cock. His breaths have turned harsher, and he's placing light pecks in Hoseok's neck, waiting for Hoseok's call to move. "Okay, go." Hoseok almost orders him, and Yoongi does exactly what he's being asked. He starts moving in shallow thrusts, and Hoseok is thankful he's able to get used to the feeling again at a slow pace. There's a small discomfort, but Yoongi is kissing him, and the distraction is very welcome. It's only when Yoongi finally hits that spot inside of him that he's throwing his head backwards and whines slowly, staring right into the fire behind him. "Fuck yes, right there, baby." Yoongi huffs at the pet name and gives him a sharp thrust that has Hoseok's back arching. Yoongi's relentless pace is making him slide up the fur blanket bit by bit and the pleasure is too much. Hoseok hiccuping ahs and ohs with every thrust. Yoongi, fuck, I want to ride you. The large crystals and diamonds on his back are starting to dig into his skin so uncomfortably, and Hoseok knows that the other position would make him feel Yoongi even deeper. The servant's lips find his, and he's kissing him fervently, distracting him as he pulls out and rolls onto his back, pulling Hoseok on top of him ever so swiftly. Hoseok sits up, and his hands are roaming along Yoongi's torso. His chest is heaving, and he's breathing rapidly. As Hoseok's fingers start playing with the tag on Yoongi's choker, he can see Yoongi's eyes staring at him intently. The black orbs are boring right into his fucking skull with so much intensity. What are you thinking? Hoseok asks, curious to know. He can never read Yoongi during times like these. When they're fucking, he knows every single expression. But in more intimate moments like these, Yoongi is the hardest riddle on earth. Wanted to be yours for so long, Yoongi whispers. His own fingers are joining Hoseok's near the tag. Want you to be mine. After saying the words, Yoongi's hands move to Hoseok's ass. He squeezes his cheeks once, before fingering his hole, making Hoseok's spine arch and throw his head back. He sits up properly, and reaches behind him to hold onto Yoongi's cock. He holds it into his hand and he barely believes that something of this length had just been inside of him, or is about to be inside again as he slowly sits down onto it. Fuck Hoseok. Yoongi's head flies back and he groans. He's breathing rapidly at how quickly Hoseok had seated himself in his lap. When he looks back at Hoseok, he looks almost hungry. He looks like a wild animal staring its prey down. You're so fucking beautiful like that. Look so good on my cock. Hoseok smiles at the praise and decides to give Yoongi a show. He rides him with such finesse that Yoongi can't do anything but turn into a whimpering mess. Hoseok is so painfully hard, but he can't touch himself, or it would be over so quickly. He doesn't want it to be over yet. You look so beautiful, my beautiful prince. Yoongi's words are reverberating through him. He's leaking at every small word of praise he gets. Wish I could buy these kinds of jewels for you. You look so good in gold and red, Hoseok. If only I was of higher status, I would buy you all the rubies in the goddamn world. Don't want goddamn rubies. Hoseok whimpers. He leans down to give Yoongi an open-mouthed kiss. Just you, Yoongi. Fuck gold. Fuck rubies. Fuck the fucking status. Yoongi stares at him, and Hoseok is starting to feel so light. The pleasure is completely taking over his body as he keeps riding Yoongi with great fervor and hits that same spot inside of him with every single thrust. Don't need anything but you. Yoongi's hands are moving to Hoseok's hips, and he puts his feet flat against the ground. He doesn't give any warning before he starts bucking his hips up and fastening the pace. Hoseok is sobbing above him now. He's not even sure if the sound is escaping his lips or Yoongi's the second the older boy's hand wraps around his cock. It only takes 3, 4, 5 more thrusts until suddenly he's coming all over Yoongi's chest and feels his insides being filled with Yoongi's seed. They both groan in unison and Hoseok feels so weak. He slumps down onto Yoongi's chest, not even caring about the sticky cum. It takes a good 5 minutes of heavy breathing before both of them finally come down from their shared high. Hoseok gets out of Yoongi's lap, grimacing as his cock slips free and drops of cum roll down his inner thighs. He rolls next to him and cuddles into Yoongi's side, something they haven't done many times before. Yoongi would either get embarrassed and run off, or other servants would come in and disturb them. But right now, Yoongi doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and it's so late at night that all the other servants are asleep. Did you? Yoongi's voice is gravelly, his throat dry. He's hesitating too. Did I what? Get fucked into oblivion? Because the answer is yes. The servant can't help the sudden laugh that's coming out of him, and Hoseok is glad he's feeling less tense already. Did you mean it when you said I'm yours? Hoseok sits up next to Yoongi. He can feel the cum dripping between his thighs and onto the fur blanket, and he thinks of how to possibly clean semen out of wolf fur. I do. You're mine, Yoongi. I won't let anyone else ever have you. The older boy nods. But are you mine too, Hoseok? I'm but a low-class servant. You're the fucking prince of the high mountains. You have dozens boys and girls swooning at your feet. The look on Yoongi's face is one Hoseok hadn't ever seen before. He looked so goddamn insecure, and Yoongi never looks insecure. Sure, he looks embarrassed sometimes, shy, maybe, but never ever had he seemed insecure. I'm yours, Yoongi, and one day soon, I'll make sure the world knows. Hoseok gives Yoongi a soft kiss on his lips, and afterwards, he kisses a tag on the choker, feeling a surge of warmth through his chest as he reads the word. He never wants the boy to take it off. Yoongi's eyes close quickly after that, and for the very first time in all the months they have been doing this, he doesn't run away. For the very first time, Yoongi spends the entire night in his arms. Oh my god, that was quite an adventure, am I right? I don't know if you could tell, but Yoonseok was a dom in this, and Hobie as a dom is attractive. I also don't know if you think him weird or have some sort of Yoonseok kink or jewelry kink, but I really don't. I just thought this was an extremely well written fanfic. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this dumb video of me messing around with a program that I never use. Please, if you enjoyed it though, like this and maybe even subscribe if you feel like my videos are funny enough for the internet. Have a good rest of your day, you kind people. I love you. Also, if you are listening to this, comment Yoonseok is attractive, because I would laugh if the comments were just filled with that. Bye bye smiley face.